disturbance in the universe.
The controversial statue of a sailor kissing a nurse will soon leave San Diego's shores, but an exact replica may replace it. My guests are leading the charge to have a permanent bronze version of Unconditional Surrender placed in the exact same spot next to the Midway, which will cost almost $1 million. Joining me are architect Donald Reeves and the president of the USS Midway Museum, McLaughlin. Don, I want to start with you. Why should San Diego have a permanent version of Unconditional Surrender?
Well, there are a couple of answers, but essentially it's asserted itself on so many people by now that it feels it belongs here. Everybody that's seen it, without exception, and I've spent a lot of time down there, the comments are all beautiful comments that come back about the sculpture and what it adds to the overall scene of the waterfront and the Navy presence in our city. So it just adds to the whole city's atmosphere and the draw that we have as a city.
Mac, the Midway is stepping in to raise almost $1 million. Make the case. Why should donors, why should San Diegans chip in to raise money for this statue?
Well, I think this statue, where it's placed right now in San Diego, is going to be a timeless piece. Certainly there will be a lot of people in San Diego that will not be contributing to this and they don't like it. I think the vast majority will, and I think we'll be successful in raising the money we need to buy the permanent bronze statue.
Let's talk about some of the people who do not like it. Critics of the statue, including some members, prominent members of the arts community, have called it kitschy. They say it's cartoonish. What is your response to that?
I understand as studiers of art how they could come to that conclusion. I think even perhaps if you take that statue out of the context it's in right now, you could come to that conclusion. But in the context of the Midway in the background, Veterans Park surrounding it, the memorials to the greatest generation surrounding it, really that's going to become an anchor to Tuna Park in the future. And while I'm respectful of their views, I also get to observe the public who has fallen in love with that statue, and that's why we want to save it.
But just because something is popular, does that mean it's good, Don?
No. And we've never purported that it's the best or finest. It's not a David. But for San Diego, it's great. It's in the right setting, and it's the right piece of sculpture for that spot.
You say it's in the right setting. We've had commenters on our website and the UT San Diego website say, look, you know, this statue commemorates an event that took place in 1945 in Times Square in New York. It's not even a local event. Why do we have it here?
It's not really about where it occurred. I mean, if you look at the Iwo Jima monument that it's in Arlington Cemetery, also of a very famous photograph overlooking Washington, D.C., you have a timeless tribute to the bravery of the Marine Corps. When I look at the KISS, and when a lot of our public looks at the KISS, they are flashed to a time when all of America was united, happy, so pleased that the World War II was finally over. And when we build this statue, we will write that in an inscription there, and people will understand what it really means. It's not really about a sailor kissing a nurse. It's not really about it was in Times Square. It's really about a time in our nation's history where we were at peace, and the fundamental nature of American citizens who love it when all of America is at peace.
So you say that the public has fallen in love with it. Do you have any sense of how many members of the public are actually tourists and how many members are locals?
Well, I don't have any sense of that. I know a lot of locals walk by it and enjoy it on their way to the fish market constantly. The tourist crowd is always going by there. You even see tourist bus stopping there and pulling up. School groups go over there. And over time, this will become a great, iconic snapshot of San Diego. When I saw the picture of the statue on Monday Night Football, with the Midway in the background as just a snapshot of San Diego, it resonated with me as this being a great Navy town with a wonderful veteran population and a wonderful citizenry that supports that. And that's why that works so well down there.
Very quickly, where do fundraising efforts stand?
We will be announcing very shortly where we stand and what our plan is, probably within the next couple of weeks. By the middle of April, we'll be coming out with the Midway's attempt to help Don Reeves, the man who's brought this to San Diego and kept it here for the last 5 years, to be successful. And we'll get the painted bronze permanent sculpture put down there with a nice walkway and wonderful cherry trees in the background and some benches to sit, and people will really be able to enjoy the Bayside.
Mac, Don, thank you for speaking to us today.
You're welcome.